So I thought since you guys have been doing such a great job in the class and you've gotten to this point, I'd like to show you um, a few rendering tools and just have something that's quick to finish off the class. There are a few people that need to get caught up. So open up any one of your 3D modeling files, and then I think it's the best idea to change the background to white for this. Um, so right click and go to options, and then go to display tab and pick the colors button right there. And then over here, just change the color at the top right to white. And then pick apply and close and OK. Now at this point, we're not in the 3D mode right here. So let's go ahead and change the workspace down at the bottom. Some of you may be here already. So I'm going to change the ribbon to 3D modeling at the bottom right. And then I'm going to change the conceptual visual style right here to actually not conceptual, but realistic. Because realistic is the one where you would actually be able to see the material. And when you do that, it'll start off as black like this because we don't have any material that's attached to it. So at this point, it's up to you. You can turn off the layer if it was created. I opened up a student file here, and it looks like the dimensions are on the layer 0, and so are the objects. So it's up to you if you want to clean up the file. I think it's a good idea if we do a save as and save it as a um, a different file, like assignment 14. So I'm going to go here to this little icon, the little pencil icon, the floppy disk pencil icon, and then navigate to your folder and call this one assignment 14. I would say maybe materials or rendering materials is good. Assignment 14. Okay. Now, at this point, we can go up at the top here. Move this. Go to the Visualize tab. And in the Visualize tab, you'll see some settings that will help you to add materials. The main one is going to be this material browser. So go ahead and click on the material browser right there. And it takes a minute for it to pull up this menu of the material that's actually loaded in this file. And so in this dialog box, you can only see these little boxes. So you might go over here to the top right of this panel. There's this little arrow. It's hard to see, but it's a way to get to a menu to pick thumbnail view. And the thumbnail view will give you kind of bigger picture of what all these materials are. As you scroll through them, you can see there are a lot of materials. Now, it's going to also depend on what your scale is. So right now we have a huge, this drawing is big, right? It's an architectural building, several feet. So if you have a smaller object, some of the tiled materials aren't going to look as good on it. So you hold your left mouse button down on one of these and drag it over to your model. You see this is like a mosaic blue, 1 inch squares. But you see how big it was? So the scale's a little off depending on the size of your drawing, but I wanted to for sure introduce this to you and let you see that it's here. There are some categories under the Autodesk library where you can go in and find, flooring or some kind of wood here finish. So under the Autodesk library, you go right to wood, and then that way you can decide to make it whatever color you like. Okay, so I'm okay with whatever you'd like to um, figure out as far as your colors go. I know this is kind of a weird combination. I just wanted you to get the experience of it here. Once you have your materials in place, most of the time I'll create a base so that I can see some of the shadows. So what we can do is go back to the Home tab and pick your box, and then with the box command, I'm just going to pick a point, pull my mouse all the way across here. I'm establishing kind of a base or a bottom. I'm going to pick a point, hold my mouse down just a little bit, and click. And so now I have this kind of like big solid box that's on the bottom. Okay, and then bring in whatever material you'd like on the floor itself. And now we can, in the Visualize tab, turn on some lights and add some. Um, well, we're going to add the ambient light once we create a spotlight. So there are a couple different ways of doing this, but let's go to create light right there, and we'll go down to like a spotlight. So when you click on spot for this spotlight, you want to do what they say as the default, and what that does is it sets up the drawing for you for the sunlight and the defaults. So the default lighting, so turn off the default lighting right here. Okay. So you rest your pointer on this corner and pull your mouse up. You see how I'm tracking? I'm tracking, make sure you're tracking or else your light's going to end up on the floor. But if you rest your pointer on the corner and pull your mouse up to where you want that light, that spotlight, and then click, you'll be able to pull that spotlight towards your drawing, really anywhere that you'd like it to um, to be cast, and then click and press enter, and you should see this kind of like spotlight that comes onto your image. Now you can mess around with a lot of different things here that are going to show some ground shadows and pull in different materials. But once you get something like this in place, and I'm just going to pan up a little bit. I have a laptop here. So at this point, I really don't need you to create a rendering or a camera. You can, if you want to render in the cloud, you have to be signed in. It might take a little while, or create a camera view. Like we did the spotlight, you could track up on a corner and create that camera. In order to get this image, and I kind of like the way that the spotlights look with this cone, kind of shows it. Let's create here. You decide on whether you use Word or PowerPoint, or however you might use something else to capture a screenshot of this view. So I guess I'll show you how to use PowerPoint because both Word and PowerPoint have the same thing. So if you start the PowerPoint and you pick a blank presentation, with a blank presentation here, you can get rid of these kind of text boxes. I'm just selecting them and picking delete. So now I have this one slide. But you could do the same thing with Word. The main feature is going to be in both of them to go to Insert and find that screenshot tool. As long as AutoCAD is the the um the screen that's below it, right? When you go up to Insert and Screenshot here, it'll bring you to the previous screen. It'll kind of be grayed out, and then at that point you can create kind of a box to decide on what you want to show, with or without the cone. I actually got my cursor on there as well. You see, it'll bring you something like this. So whether you use PowerPoint or Word, either way, at this point I'm going to go up to Insert and grab here the text box right there. I've got this recording box in my way. You can't see it, but I can. Insert text box. I'll go here to insert a text box. I picked a point and pulled my mouse across to create this box from my text. And then at this point, you can put your assignment name here and your student name. You can put that at the top, or you can do as we have been here to put it, on top of each other. I'll just bring this over, put it there. So it's up to you. You can then highlight assignment 14 and underline it so that it looks similar to your other files. Using PowerPoint, using Word is both kind of the same thing, where you're going to insert and pick a screenshot. It's also like that in Word to capture the screen, and then insert text for your assignment. And then this is a PowerPoint file, so you'd have to then save it and save it into your file system, whatever you use there, and call it assignment 14. You might even make it materials. There. So now you have this file, the PowerPoint that you're going to submit, or the document, or whatever you end up with. You can even turn this into a PDF. It doesn't matter to me, as long as everyone's file is different, and you have different materials. This is assignment 14. So whether it's a PDF or a JPEG or PowerPoint or a Word document, you're using one of those forms to capture this image that you've created, and then submit that along with your drawing file. We've been asking for your DWG and your PDF, but in this one you can, as long as it's some kind of image file that you've used to show me that you created this file with some material and some kind of spotlight, then that's great. Okay, hopefully this is kind of fun. You can see that there are a lot of other features that you can use. Just want to make sure that you are getting all these things as this introduction class, everything from 2D to 3D to blocks, and working with materials and other tools that we've introduced to you, so that you could use additional videos to continue to learn this software. And let me know, I've got a lot more videos and things that you can use. If you check out my YouTube channel, there are several under Janice Grant YouTube videos, and I am making more as I go. So, and also you'll see a whole lot more on there. If you find any interesting videos and you start to create something and you need some help, don't hesitate to keep in touch with me even after the class. I'm here to help you with whatever you need. In fact, I've had students come to me, 2 years later, they're working on a project in an office and they needed some help, and I'm with you. All right then, take care everyone. Hope you enjoyed the class.